So I brought out my S22 Ultra to compare it, and my S22 Ultra was quite readable. I checked the screen brightness of my Pixel 7 Pro, and the shock I was in when I realized. So this is Google's newly announced Pixel 7 Pro, and I've been using it for about a month now. This is my updated review on how this amazing device has been so far. Starting off with the battery, I'm happy to say that the Pixel 7 Pro has been the only device so far that has gotten rid of my battery anxiety. Before we go any further though, if my voice sounds weird, it's because I'm currently suffering from COVID. So I'm out here hustling and posting the videos for you guys so you don't go without tech for tech. The Pixel 7 Pro will give you a full day of battery life no matter what task you're doing. It can be soft, medium or heavy tasks. It will handle it with no problem. I've once pushed the Pixel 7 Pro to last me a day and a half with soft to medium usage. This, paired with the extreme battery saver that Google introduced, is literally no competition to my Samsung S22 Ultra. There was this one time I wanted to test Google's claims of the extreme battery saver because I'm a skeptical guy. So I went to bed with 4% battery left. I turned on extreme battery saver, and lo and behold, it was a massive shock when I woke up the next morning. After 10 hours, bear in mind, I woke up the next morning with 2% remaining. How does a phone go for over 10 hours and only drain 2% of battery? My Wi-Fi was on as well. That is mind-boggling to me. I honestly don't know how Google managed to create a feature such as extreme battery saver. It makes my battery saver on my S22 Ultra literally look like child's play. As soon as my S22 Ultra hits 15% battery, I just know that it's as good as dead. Like, the tiniest bit of heavy tasks that you do will drain like 4%. Like opening the camera app, or I don't know, going on TikTok, that is just going to deplete your battery from 15 to 0 in no time. I don't know why Samsung always has that problem. When it reaches the last 15% of the battery, it just drains like there's no tomorrow. By the way, if you're this far into the video, it shows that you're enjoying it, so hitting that subscribe button down below will show your appreciation. I really do appreciate it. I've done heavy tasks such as gaming, editing, and I don't know, going on TikTok on my Pixel 7 Pro, but somehow I still end the day with 25% battery remaining. The Pixel 7 Pro does have a really reliable battery, so if battery is a big concern for you, the Pixel 7 Pro will not disappoint. All in all, the battery life is one of the various things that Google mastered on the Pixel 7 Pro. Moving on to the software, if you're a regular viewer of Tech Full Tech, you know that I'm a big fan of Google's software on the Pixel 7 Pro. Not so much the hardware, but we'll talk about that on my next point. In the world of Android, where user interfaces are inferior to that of iOS, Google has been one of the Android companies to break that curse. Android 13 on my Pixel 7 Pro is so great. Its buttery is smooth, the haptics and the user interface go hand in hand, and is one of the greatest softwares I've ever experienced on a phone. When you're getting your Pixel 7 Pro, you should have one thing in mind. You're getting one of the best, if not the best, software experience on an Android phone. If you're an Apple user and you want to get a similar software experience with that as iOS, then the Pixel is for you. Not only is it more simpler than One UI due to the lack of customization Google has compared to Samsung, but it also runs nearly as smooth as iOS. Hey, I'm going to interrupt the video for a sec, just a little sec. If you want to get my updates or overall behind the scenes of Tech Full Tech, then I highly recommend you go follow my Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description. If I compare the overall fluidity of Android 13 on my Pixel 7 Pro compared to One UI 5 on my S22 Ultra, then it's night and day difference. My Pixel doesn't have nearly as much frame drops as my S22 Ultra. Samsung has fixed the consistency of animations on One UI 5, but it still has some frame drops here and there. I'm not sure if Samsung will ever be able to fix this software issue. It's been going on for years now. The software of the Pixel is what made me decide to keep it, and 1 month later, it's still one of the reasons I pick up this device every day. I haven't found any major bugs in my Pixel 7 Pro after using it for a month. I remember last year the Pixel 6 Pro was riddled with bugs when it first came out, so I'm happy Google didn't really get discouraged, but instead they put their heads down and went straight to work and produced this beautiful phone called the Pixel 7 Pro. My Pixel can now see itself among some of the greatest flagships such as the Galaxy S22 Ultra and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Lastly, one of my favorite design features on Android 13 will have to be the massive buttons in the control panel. I remember when Android 13 was still being leaked and the beta was still out, there was a bunch of people that weren't really happy with its design, but I've always stuck by it and I've always loved it, and I'm finally seeing it on my Pixel 7 Pro. It's so like, finally seeing it on my Pixel 7 Pro is so beautiful to look at, and I was hoping that Samsung would do the same in One UI 5 when they were making it, but they decided to stick with the same control panel layout that came out in One UI 1, and they just made the little button smaller. Nothing really major changed there. I've posted my One UI 5 video on this channel, so if you want to watch that as a previous video to this, it's also be linked in the description. But I've always loved those massive buttons on the Pixel, so finally able to have it on my Pixel 7 Pro is such a great thing to have. I bet everyone thinks I hate Samsung because of all the digs I'm throwing at them, but in reality, I've owned Samsung my whole life and it's a company I love. My first ever phone was a Samsung and now I've got the Galaxy S22 Ultra, so no, I don't hate Samsung. When I first got the Pixel 7 Pro, I took it out of the box as you do, and the first thing I noticed was, whoa, this is such a light phone. But the longer I held it and the more I compared it to my S22 Ultra, I couldn't help to feel that the phone felt cheap. Don't get me wrong, the Pixel 7 Pro comes as a standard glass and aluminium sandwich, such as 90% of all flagships in the market right now, but for some reason it still felt cheaper than my S22 Ultra. So I did some more digging and realized what the problem was. The back and the front felt a lot more hollow and empty than my S22 Ultra. The S22 Ultra feels a lot more full and dense, and this is a common theme that you see in most high-end smartphones. Like the 14 Pro Max is really heavy and dense, high quality, compact. The S22 Ultra is exactly the same, but then the Pixel it just feels empty. If I show you an example, it will make a lot more sense, so take a look at this video I created. If I hit the back of the Pixel 7 Pro, listen to the sound it makes. Now compare this to when I hit the back of my S22 Ultra. Do they sound the same? Exactly, one sounds cheaper than the other, and that one is the Pixel 7 Pro. Take a listen again. The sound the Pixel makes sounds a lot cheaper than that of the S22 Ultra. Let's listen to the front of the phone now. Again, the Pixel 7 Pro makes that cheaper sounding phone to my S22 Ultra. And no, I'm not nitpicking, because if you do hold both phones in your hand, the S22 Ultra feels a lot more premium and more dense and high quality than my Pixel 7 Pro. This is definitely not a deal breaker, because I can't use the Pixel 7 Pro every day without thinking, oh, I've got the inferior device, I've got a cheaply made device. It's still a high quality device. The aim of Tech for Tech is just to provide the viewer with as much information to help with the purchasing decision. The screen of the Pixel 7 Pro is good, definitely not the best, but also not the worst. Let's talk about it. I won't start shoving numbers to your face, because this definitely does not reflect to the real world usage. When I'm outside on a really sunny day, the Pixel 7 Pro is just about visible. It doesn't come anywhere as close to my S22 Ultra when it comes to brightness though. I remember this one day I took out both my Pixel 7 Pro and S22 Ultra to do some filming. It was a really sunny day and I was struggling to see the screen on my Pixel 7 Pro. So I brought out my S22 Ultra to compare it, and my S22 Ultra was quite readable. I checked the screen brightness of my Pixel 7 Pro, and the shock I was in when I realized it was at 90% brightness. So I was like, okay. I checked my S22 Ultra screen brightness, and that was at 60%. The difference is quite big, to be honest. This shouldn't come as a shock to everyone, because Samsung does make the best display in the world, but I didn't expect the difference to be too big like that. The Pixel 7 Pro comes with a 2K or 1440p panel, such as most flagship smartphones out there. It's quite readable. You won't really see any pixels no matter how close you go to your device, but I wouldn't really recommend bringing your device that close to your eyes. Everything is high quality, crisps, legible, no problems there. The Pixel 7 Pro comes with a 120Hz variable refresh rate display. This changes how many times the screen refreshes a second to save some battery life. From the past month of using it, my Pixel 7 Pro hasn't really made me miss the screen on my S22 Ultra that much. So I'm guessing that's a really good sign of how good the display is on the Pixel 7 Pro. The speakers on the Pixel 7 Pro is definitely not its strong point. They don't get as loud and they don't sound as full as my S22 Ultra does. The speakers will make do and get the job done, but if you want a high quality speaker on your phone and care about audio a lot, then I don't think the Pixel 7 Pro is for you. You get two loudspeakers on the Pixel 7 Pro, one at the bottom and one at the top by the speaker grills. The cameras on the Pixel 7 Pro has been as great as it's been in the previous years. This time Google decided to upgrade their hardware instead of relying on their software as much as they did in previous models. You can now reach a zoom range of 30 times, which is really welcomed in a world where all smartphone companies are trying to reach the stars when it comes to the zoom capabilities of the smartphones. Even Apple has increased their zoom range in this year's iPhone, which just goes to show that they're taking this seriously. The portrait mode on my Pixel 7 Pro is great and it's just an overall reliable camera. I do have to add that if zoom is important to you, then there are other great alternatives such as the S22 Ultra where they can reach a zoom of up to 100 times compared to the Pixel's 30 times zoom. All in all, the camera on the Pixel 7 Pro is good enough for flagship cameras in 2022. In conclusion, what has my experience been in the past month of owning the Pixel 7 Pro? If I'm being honest, it's been a mixed bag really. The software has been amazingly consistent for me, the camera has been really great, and the battery life. Google worked some magic with the battery life because my battery anxiety is finally gone. Watch this video here to my comparison between the Pixel 7 Pro and Galaxy S22 Ultra. I highly recommend watching it because it's really interesting. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description. And I'll catch you in the next one.